What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So I first just want to thank you guys for continuing to support the channel, for continuing to hit that like button. It really does help out the channel, and I just really want to say that I appreciate every single one of you. Now, let's get into the update for this afternoon. Today we learned that President Biden is open to a 25% corporate tax rate in order to help pay for this roughly $4 trillion infrastructure package. I say roughly because there are now reports that say this $4 trillion infrastructure package that President Biden is calling his Build Back Better plan, it is expected to cost around $4.5 trillion. What we do know is this package was essentially supposed to be around 3.8, but now they're saying it's going to come in about $700 billion more than what was previously expected. Ilhan Omar is telling Democrats to grow a backbone and stand up to Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who's the leader of the Republican Party. We know lawmakers are proposing $4,200 payments to families in order to help them with the rising costs of raising children. This has many people triggered, but that is currently what we are hearing. And some economists still question why so much relief is going to parents and children while leaving out the rest of the population. I know you guys have been questioning this as well. If you do not have children, there will not be a lot of additional relief according to the most recent reports. So again, I just want to fill you in on the updates, what is currently going on, but as always, things could completely change at any moment. So make sure you are subscribed so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's happening. And again, thank you for always hitting that like button. First, let's address those $4,200 payments that are going to families, going to parents with children. What we are hearing is that this is called the Family Security Act. Well, what this is essentially going to do is it's going to provide families, children, parents with additional money. Now, the purpose of this is to provide money, some financial stability to parents so that, number one, to pull those children out of poverty. Okay, this bill right here is supposed to achieve something even greater than the $3,600 child tax credits. This would actually pull more than 50% of children out of poverty. However, some say that this is not the right way to go. Let me give you a little bit of insight as to how these payments would actually break down. First off, the $4,200 payments would only go to children between the ages of 0 and 5. The other payment for children between 6 and 17, this would actually only be $3,000. So that payment wouldn't change. The only difference is for children between 0 and 5, they would get an additional $600 on top of what President Biden has already proposed and was actually in law for 2021. That is this year. So it would be for $350 per month for any child between 0 and 5 and $250 for every single month for any child between 6 and 17. Parents can apply, and here's the big difference. Parents can apply for benefits 4 months before their child is born. Now, this is said to help with expecting costs, things like doctor visits and other things like that. The maximum benefit, there is a maximum here, it's $1,250. So if you have all your children are, let's say, over the age of 6 and under the age of 17, you could have a maximum of 5 children and you'd get paid for every single one. The income phase outs, this actually starts for an individual at $200,000. And for a couple, it's $400,000. But when we started seeing the news of this, the details of this Family Security Act being leaked and being proposed, many economists started to question, why does a family that makes $400,000 per year need any additional help? Why do they need any additional help to pay and provide financial assistance to raise their children? Most likely, a family that makes $400,000 does not need any additional help. Again, that's my take as well. I think economists are right on this one. And this is where many moderates are going to come in and say, no, we need to scale that back. We need to increase the phase outs and we need to drop the actual threshold. Instead of $200,000 for an individual, maybe $100,000 and maybe $200,000 for a family. That's currently what is being discussed amongst lawmakers. Now, something else we are hearing is that this is just one of the proposals. This is just one of the ideas. This isn't the final proposal. This isn't the final idea. This isn't the bill that's going to pass. This is just a proposal and a plan. Okay, I want to make this 100% clear because as of right now, what we know is that lawmakers are fighting this because they say providing for children is great. That's perfect. We need to do that. We need to invest in our youth. However, we cannot go and provide for that family and leave out the rest of the population that's single, doesn't have children, or their children have grown up and they don't need the money anymore. Or they're not going to receive it anymore. That's currently the talks. So what I can tell you is right now, Democrats are actually fighting, and progressives mainly are pushing President Biden and saying that we need more. That right now we need to spend more. We need to invest in the American people. We need to give them relief. But others say that no, we can't do this because things are different. This is not 2008 and 2009 anymore. We cannot just throw money at a problem and hope it goes away. We have too much debt. Well, Representative Ilhan Omar, she had this to say today on Twitter. And I quote, she says, "Democrats can't repeat the mistake of 2009. We must abolish the filibuster and move legislation that helps us deliver progress for the American people. Let's grow a backbone." Well, this was pretty much to address Mitch McConnell's statement of using 100% of his focus in order to stop the new administration. Well, Ilhan Omar had this to say as well. "Please stop asking us about bipartisanship when this is what the leader of the other party is focused on." And that's exactly what some lawmakers are saying. Democratic lawmakers, by the way, not Republicans. Republicans are backing Mitch McConnell, which it obviously makes sense when you back your leader. Well, Democrats are saying, why are we trying to focus on bipartisanship? Why is President Biden focused on, coming up with some type of, resolution for this infrastructure bill when the leader of the Republican Party doesn't want to do anything and wants to stop the new administration and is going to spend 100% of his focus just on stopping them? Well, we know Republicans, they do support infrastructure. So Republicans are not saying that we are against infrastructure, but they are for real infrastructure. That is roads, bridges, ports, railways, and things like that. They said, and Mitch McConnell stated, that no Republican is going to vote for a bill and support a bill that is over $600 billion. Well, we do know there's a group of 10 Republicans that do support a bill that's roughly, I think it's $568 billion. Okay, that's 10 Republicans right there. And so with 10 Republicans, you have 50 Democrats. If those 50 Democrats would jump on board with the Republicans, done. An infrastructure bill just passed. Okay? Now, I don't think that is likely because right now President Biden is proposing a $4 trillion infrastructure bill. And Republicans are only at $600 billion. That's $3.4 trillion away. However, like I said in the beginning of this video, the projected cost is roughly $4.5 trillion. So essentially, Republicans and Democrats are $3.9 trillion away. That's too much, and many experts believe there's no way they could compromise on this deal. We also know that President Biden is actually open to compromising, but he's open to compromising on the corporate tax rate. He said today 25 to 28% is where we need to be. So at an event in Louisiana today, President Biden, he had this to say, and I quote, "The way I can pay for this is making sure that the largest companies don't pay zero and reducing the 2017 corporate tax cuts to between 25 and 28%. That's a couple $100 billion, and we can pay for these things." So if you're not sure what the corporate tax rate is currently 21%. So what President Biden is saying is he won 28%, so 7% higher. Well, there was a lot of pushing and fighting and amongst Democrats as well that no, let's stick it at 25. Let's come right in the middle. This has support and a lot of support from Senator Joe Manchin, who stated that the rate needs to be at 25%. He would not support anything any higher. He does not support a 28% corporate tax rate. He said that 25% is the average of what corporations pay around the world. And so in order for us to be competitive with other countries, we have to stick to 25% or better. 28% is just too high. So this is actually the first time that President Biden has stated that he's open to negotiating the tax rate. And so this has many experts currently very optimistic that a deal could be done in the near future. Some say this shows progress and it shows movement from the Democratic Party. So right now it is somewhat uplifting that we might be getting close. I'm not saying that we're going to see a bill tomorrow. I'm not saying it's even going to happen anytime this month, but it shows progress. Now, where we go from here is going to be interesting to say the least, because as of right now, Republicans and Democrats are still really far apart in the amount of spending, just because they come up with an agreement on, or possibly an agreement on how this bill would be paid for. Again, Republicans do not support an increase in corporate taxes. Republicans don't support that. Now, Senator Joe Manchin supports that, but again, in order for that to be passed, in order for Joe Manchin to jump on board, again, we are talking about the budget reconciliation, which just needs 50 votes. And so it would take every single Democrat plus Vice President Kamala Harris in order to pass this. However, that would be through a budget reconciliation. And Joe Manchin has already stated he doesn't support passing this much legislation, this much additional spending when the government is already $28 trillion in debt. He does not support this through another budget reconciliation. We have to get those 10 Republicans on board. So, as of right now, there's a lot going on, but again, there's still talks on stimulus checks. I want to be 100% clear. As of right now, President Biden has not come out and addressed stimulus checks. Until President Biden comes out and says, hey, I'm in favor of an additional stimulus check. I think we should pass an additional stimulus check, but we have to figure out a way to pay for it. If we see this over the next month, then yes, I do believe there's a good chance we see stimulus checks. But as of right now, and even what I said in this morning's video, was that stimulus checks at this time are more likely than not, but the problem is it's a good and bad situation. Okay, if the economy gets better, then the stimulus checks are less likely. If the economy worsens, then stimulus checks are more likely. So it's a good news, bad news type situation. But what you need to keep in mind is that many experts do believe the economy will get worse, but it most likely will get worse after September. That is when the unemployment benefits will expire. That's when gig workers, okay, people on long-term benefits, they will be cut off completely. Okay, that's when the $300 boost will be gone. The eviction moratorium is going to end soon. Well, not really soon, but it's going to end eventually. Okay, just keep that in mind. Some people will already start experiencing evictions because of the judge's ruling yesterday. If you're not sure exactly what I mean there, go and watch my video from this morning. I will link to it down in the description box below. But what we do know is right now, experts are in favor of an additional stimulus check. We know economists are saying that a fourth and possibly a fifth stimulus check would further reduce poverty in the United States, and how the American people really get through this pandemic without additional relief. That's what people are wondering. How do we anticipate the American people are going to react, are going to recover right now if they do not have the money? Okay, restaurants are starting to hire their employees back. It's slow, but it is happening. But what we are hearing is right now, there's just so many things in limbo. And everything comes down to, how will the bill be paid for? How is the infrastructure package going to be paid for? If we don't know that, if we don't have a good indication of how much money can be raised from those changes, then we really have no clue how much money Democrats are potentially going to spend. So that's what we need to look at right now, is we need to watch Democrats and see exactly what they do. We need to watch the centrist Democrats as well to see what they support and what they oppose, and we will know and have a better idea of exactly what we'll see in the near future. So as I know more, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. You are wonderful. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Like always, smash that like button if you enjoyed today's video. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.